Good morning, photographers. I'm sharing this video as a way to give you guys a quick lecture and get you jump start on your black and white photography notes so that you can devote more time to perhaps finishing your project, right? So this video is so you can do this lecture and notes um, at any time today. And here we go. All right, so here's a quick introduction to black and white. We have these notes that we started yesterday. Now I got a new topic, what to consider when shooting black and white photography. So make a little heading there and let's look at the slideshow. Why shoot black and white? Well, we'll get to that. You'll give yourself good reasons to shoot black and white, but things to consider, that means things you want to focus on and think about as you shoot. Some of these will make sense right off the start and some will have to be learned as we go along. But as we take notes, let's go with first thought is density. That means having your blacks black, your whites white. So density. To give a little visual, I'm going to make a really dark marking there to show density means dark darks. Okay. Variety. Okay. Of values, of tones. Okay. We also call this, I'm going to write it like this, tonal range. That means you want to have light lights, dark darks in your black and white photos, but all the sort of grays in between. So we could make a little value scale right here where it's really dark on one end. All right, it's white over here and then the grays in the middle. All right, and make it kind of gradually change. So super light over here, kind of medium in the middle, and getting darker as it goes to the right. All right, and having that full range of light to dark is another consideration with black and white photography. Okay. Sharpness. That's always the case with photography. You want to have areas that are really sharp. All right, that's referring to clean focus, right? Really clean focus on certain objects. It will create more texture in the shot as well. So if you're doing a close-up of like some wood and you see the grain and then the way the lights hit the grain kind of looks like a little mountain range or something. It's like an old piece of wood. Then, having it really sharp will show the light and the dark and the interplay of light and shadow like that, which creates a texture. All right. You got to make sure the picture is focused. Okay. When you are getting a variety of values and tones, that's this fourth thing here. It creates a balance. You want to make sure that the light areas, sorry guys, camera went to sleep. My phone, my voice probably does that to not only you guys, but my phone. Okay, so a big white area will balance out really dark areas, smaller dark areas. All right, and so if you look at that as that was colored in, a little reflection there. There's a kind of balance that would be called asymmetrical balance. Asymmetrical, right, versus a balance of white on either side, right, and then something dark in the middle, right? This would be more symmetrical. The idea being that you're using light and dark in your photo to feel balance asymmetrically or symmetrically. All right, we'll look at some samples as we go. We're just getting notes down. We can refer back to them, okay? All right, always focus on composition. right? Because it's one thing to create balance, but where you place things, all right? That's your arrangement, always important. So, bam, always important. Bam, advertisement. Always focus on composition. Okay. Uh, in that regard, minimize your distractions. That's unhelpful elements in your picture. Try cutting things out, and if it still works, if the power of the photo gets more powerful, gets more impactful, get rid of it. All right. So uh, that's kind of the same idea as simplicity. Now, these are just tips, right? Oh man, I think I lost my share. 1 second. And we're back. Sorry for all the craziness in editing. You get to watch me fumble around. Okay, so where were we? Simplicity, all right? The other term for that is economy in your picture. All right, don't try to do everything in your photo, but mix it up and cut things out in order to see if there's still power in the photo when you remove things. Okay, and then the last point I'm trying to make is when you're playing with variety of values and having tonal range and going for balance, there still can be an overall sense of a dark photo or a light photo, and either can work. Just play with the possibilities. And so a high key photo is one that is overall uh, light in tone. Okay, so high key is light. Okay, and low key doesn't mean like calm, it means dark in black and white photography. So it's like you're tuning the photo in to a overall light value range or overall dark. Okay, and um, that's enough. I can't seem to write and talk at the same time, can I? All right, but low key and high key, some vocabulary words to describe what I'm talking about. As we look at the slides, all right, let's hold off on these notes for a moment. You actually have these notes in the value notes on elements of design. You have essentially the same thing, okay? And we already wrote what density is, okay? So we can skip this slide. It says right in the sketchbook, let's skip it today, okay? Let's look at this. If you look at these three photos, the same photo, they have different exposures and different tonal range. The one on the left would be described as flat because the values, the dark areas are not super dark. Like they don't get black, black. They are kind of just in the midtones, in the grays. The middle photo, the darks get darker, the lights get a little lighter. If you compare like the guy's shirt, all right, there's a little more contrast. And then on the right, it's when the darks get really dark, you might actually be losing some detail in the dark areas. And the white areas are getting lighter, and they look lighter because the darks are dark, right? Put dark next to light, they enhance each other. But the white areas might be starting to get too light, and you're losing detail. Okay, and moving to the next slide. Here's an example of when maybe things get too dark, like on the left, and it just feels oppressive, and you can't really get to the details of that building, even though there's some light there. All right, so underexposure or heavy-handed edits where you make it too dark means that the dark areas lose detail. And an overexposed photo or over-edited photo for the whites